Okay, today we are going to talk about matrices. So for matrices, we need to first define the order. Okay, order of matrix, you will need to actually identify how many rows and columns for this matrix. So in this case, the order of the matrix that is shown over here will be 2 by 3 matrix. Okay, this one is the order for this matrix that is shown over here. So you can take a look that the first number here will represent the number of rows, and the second number here will represent the number of columns. So that is how we define the order of a matrix. For two matrices to be equal, okay, I'll just give an example first. Let's say, for example, you have 3, 4 is equals to 2, 3, 4. Okay, you are given these two matrices. Okay, let's say this one is matrix A, this one is matrix B. If you take a look at these two matrices, the reason why they are equal is because first thing, you must make sure that the corresponding elements are the same. Then the second thing is you have to make sure that the order of both matrices are also the same. So after making sure that the order and the corresponding elements are equal, we can conclude that matrix A is equal to matrix B. So this is useful for us when we want to solve questions which I will write out on the whiteboard now. Let's say, for example, you have matrix A, which is equals to, and matrix B, for A, D minus 4, A plus 3, and you have D. So they say that, given in the question, they say that matrix A is equals to matrix B. So of course, you can write down what is given over here first. Okay, 20, C, B, and 16 is equals to 4A, D minus 4, A plus 3, and D. So since these two matrices are equal, means each corresponding elements should be the same. So by looking at the first element here, 20 and 4A, we can solve for our A first. So that means 4A equals to 20, that means A will be 5. Okay, then another one we can solve is by comparing D and 16. We can conclude that our D is equal to 16. Then, once we are done with that, we can actually go and solve for our B. You compare this B with your A plus 3. So that means B is equal to A plus 3. And your A, you can use the previous result. So A is 5. So your B will be 8. So finally, you compare the last element, corresponding element C and D minus 4. So C is equal to D minus 4. D, we have over here 16. So that means your C is 12. So from here, you can see that by saying that matrix A and B are equal, you can go and solve for the respective unknown. Okay, now we will take a look at how we perform addition and subtraction of two matrices. In this case, we want to carry out the subtraction of A minus B. So we take PQRS minus WXYZ. So when you perform the vector, when you perform the matrix subtraction, okay, you have to make sure that the order are the same first, okay, before you can start subtracting them. So in this case, you just take P minus W, you compare the corresponding elements, R minus X, Q minus Y, and finally S minus Z. Okay, that's how you perform the matrix subtraction. Okay. Then now we take a look at how we add these two matrices. So now I want to perform A plus B. So PQRS plus WXYZ. So you just add the corresponding elements. So it will be P plus W, R plus X, Q plus Y, and finally S plus Z. So the subtraction and addition of matrices are pretty straightforward. We'll take a look at a few examples. Okay, first, part A, they ask you to find the addition of A plus B. So you just write down the matrix A, 6, 5, 3, 8, plus B, 4, 0, minus 2, 7. So you just add the corresponding element, you'll get 6 plus 4, so you get 10, 3 plus minus 2, 1, 5 plus 0, 5, and 8 plus 7 will give you 15. Okay? Then part B, they ask you to perform the matrix subtraction between B and C. So B minus C, so you just write down 4, 0, minus 2, 7, minus 9, 10, 0, minus 1. So you subtract these two, you take the corresponding elements. So 4 minus 9 will be 4 plus 9, you get 13. Minus 2 minus 0, so minus 2. 0 minus 10, so minus 10. And finally 7 minus 1, you get 8. Okay, so that is about matrix addition and subtraction. So we'll move on to, we'll take a look at how to perform matrix multiplication now. Okay, we take a look at matrix A and B. So matrix A, the order is 2 by 2, and matrix B is also 2 by 2. Now I want to perform the matrix multiplication of AB. So we'll write these two vectors side by side, A, B, C, D. and PQRS. Okay. First, you need to check you need to check something first, which is the column for the first matrix A and the row for the second matrix B, they must be the same before you can multiply the two matrices. So since they are the same in this case, you can just perform the matrix multiplication. So what you need to do is you take the first column, the first row multiplied by the first column. So you take A times P plus B times R. Okay, once you're done with first row, first column, you can carry out first row, second column. So it'll be A times Q plus B times S. Once you are done with the first row and the remaining columns, since in the second matrix there's only second column, so you can move on to the second row. So that means the rule is after you take the first row multiplied by all the columns in the second matrix, then you move on to the second row and repeat the same procedure again. So now we take a look at the second row and first column. So C times P plus D times R. Then finally, second row, second column, so CQ plus DS. So you can see that the resultant matrix, the order is 2 by 2. And if you take a you take a look at what is written above for the order for matrix A and B, you can see that the resultant vector is just simply the row of the first matrix and the column of the second matrix. So from here, you will get the order of the resultant matrix. Okay? Okay, we will perform a matrix multiplication based on this example. Okay, so you are supposed to carry out the multiplication between these two matrices AB. So AB, you have to follow the order that is given. So it's A multiplied by B. So you write down A first, then multiply by B, 9, 1, 2, and minus 2. Okay, first thing you have to check is, now we write down the order for A and of B first. So the order for matrix A is 2 by 2, and B is also 2 by 2. Now we do a checking. Since the column of the first matrix and the row for the second matrix are the same, we can carry out the multiplication. We always do this checking before you carry out the multiplication. So in this case, we'll start out with the first row multiplied by the first column. So minus 2, 5, and 9, 1. So you take minus 2 times 9 plus 5 times 1. Okay, then once you're done with first row, first column, then you can carry out first row, second column. So minus 2 times 2 plus 5 times minus 2. So you're done with all the columns. Now you move on to the second row. So 1 times 9 plus minus 6 times 1. Then finally, second row, second column. So 1 times 2 plus minus 6 and minus 2. So once you're done with that, then you can evaluate all the elements inside the matrix. So minus 18 plus 5 will give you minus 13. Minus 4 minus 10 will be minus 14. 9 minus 6 will be 3. And finally, 2 plus 12 will be 14. Okay, so this one will be the M matrix. Okay, this will conclude the topic for matrices.